Hi everyone, welcome to MHS 4052, the online section in spring 2015. I'm very excited to begin this semester with you all and to learn more about you and to walk with you on this journey. This is a really meaningful course, and I've had really great positive feedback about it over the years, and students have just come back and told me that the stuff that they have learned has carried with them into their graduate school or their career or their relationships and their lives. And so I know that it will be a worthwhile journey as we go through this course together. And I know that your time is important, so I want to be very brief, but I did want to quickly go over the syllabus with you and just hit the highlights. I'm not obviously going to read it to you, but I did want to make sure that you knew some of the important information that was in there, and then I'll be able to elaborate on some things that I think will be helpful to help you understand different components of it. So let's go ahead and begin. We'll go ahead and look at the first page, and as you can see, my contact information is on there, and I will be available from 9 to 10 p.m. on Google Hangout in the evenings if you would like to do a live video chat. And that's just something that I offer because sometimes students really would like to have a face-to-face conversation rather than just through email or discussion boards. So that is available. All you'll need to do is contact me ahead of time and say, can we please meet tonight on Google Hangout? And I'd be more than happy to do that with you. So the required text is there. I also listed it in some of the announcements, so you should have that information by now. One of your classmates informed me that Chegg, C-H-E-G-G, has the book for rent and for purchase. I think the rental price is about $28 and the purchase price is $36 or $38, so very reasonable. And then of course Amazon has them as well, so you should be able to get an inexpensive book because it is no longer in print. But the information in it is invaluable, and I'm so sad that they didn't make a newer edition because it's really the best communication book that I've found. So there are great nuggets of information in there, and I really like the way that it's designed, and I like the colors and the pictures, and it's not a boring text to read, and so I hope that you find it engaging as well. So go ahead and order that so that it comes as soon as possible, and if you have any issues, please let me know. Course objectives are there, course policies are there. The only thing I want to note on the course policies, two things actually. The assignments are due at the beginning of the week noted in the syllabus. And so in other words, our weeks run Monday to Sunday. So Sunday midnight is your deadline for all of the assignments. And so the next week technically begins midnight Sunday, Monday morning, 12:01 a.m. So please make sure that you have everything submitted by that midnight deadline or it will be late. And then the late policy is there as well, 10% for the first day, 20% for the second day, and then 5% subtracted for each day after that. One last thing I wanted to talk about. There have been several instances now where plagiarism has been an issue in the posts. And so I have made the course policy much stricter on that now. And so if you use another's work in your post, if you copy it from the internet, if you do any type of plagiarism whatsoever, not in just your assignments, even in your weekly posts, you will receive an F in the course and be referred to the dean. So please be honest and use your own work for the assignments. All right, so we'll get into each of these a little bit more toward the end of the syllabus, but basically the way that you earn your points in this course, first is participation. Obviously, it's not an in class course, and so we're going to have a little more of a struggle with participation as far as being there and being present and things like that. It's really going to be your online posts for that. But those are important. That's 100 points of your grade. And so each week when you post on time, you get participation points. So please don't forget to do it. Don't do it late because you will lose those participation points. And basically 100 points is a grade letter at the end. So your reflection journal is your weekly assignment that you will submit every Sunday midnight. And at the beginning of the lecture, the link there shows you everything that you need to do as far as your deliverables for that week. And so you're basically going to give reflections on the week's information, what conclusions you drew, what questions you still have, what did you learn from the readings. And then there will be one or more activities from the lecture each week that you will need to include as well. And you will write each reflection as a new post, and you'll see Every week has its own module, and you will make sure that that is done each week. And that gives me the opportunity to see what you're learning and how you're processing the information and what questions you have. And I will reply to your posts each week as well. So you'll get my feedback and some follow-up questions and thoughts and things like that. So the reflection piece of the course is very interactive with me and with other students. So it's actually very helpful. Your communication essay, there's a very detailed explanation of that at the end of the syllabus. So I'll hold off on that. Your midterm and finals, no midterm in this class, so good for you. Final is comprehensive for the whole course, and it's a mix of types of questions. So you'll have multiple choice, short answer, essay, things like that. And there is a study guide in Canvas, and more information will be provided as we go, but that is 200 points. Your personal growth portfolio, the major assignment in the course, and we'll talk a lot about that at the end of the syllabus as well. And then your quizzes. Obviously, you can't learn the information if you're not reading the material. And this book is laid out like many other texts where the major concepts and terms are bolded and listed at the end of the chapter. And it's very easy to memorize some terms for a quiz. There will be 5 different quizzes, and that is not at all what I'm expecting for these quizzes. So I want to prepare you ahead of time. If you breeze over the material for 10 minutes before the quiz and take it, you will fail. It's not a matter of learning the bold words, because that's what we talk about in the lecture. What these quizzes are designed to do is to make sure that you've read the entire chapter word for word. It's going to ask you very, very unique questions. They are often very small details that came out of the chapter. Illustrations that they gave, or examples that they gave, or stuff mentioned in the side notes of the page. So it's designed to ensure me that you are actually reading the chapters, and you will be notified of those quizzes the Friday of the week at noon, and you will have until Sunday midnight when your reflections are also due. So you'll basically have 2.5 days to take it, but you will be notified that the quiz is up and available for you on Friday afternoon. And so they're designed to be pop quizzes. You will get 5 minutes for them. There are only 4 or 5 questions, so that's plenty of time. But again, a pop quiz, you would not know about it ahead of time, and you would only have a few minutes to complete it. So please just make sure that you read and you prepare, and you will do fine. Okay. And then here's your grading criteria, basically what we just went over, 1,000 point total in the course. Here's your schedule. So as you can see, it's listed by topic and chapter. And I just want to note a few things here. February 2nd, there is no class. That is my dissertation data collection. And so you get the benefit of my work, and we will not meet that week. So basically, you will submit your chapter 4 information by that Sunday midnight, and then you will have a full 2 weeks before you have to submit your chapter 5 information. And I'll give you a reminder announcement about that as well. Then March 2nd is spring break, so we will not meet then. Your communication essay is due March 22nd, which is the end of chapter 10 week. Your presentation is due on April 22nd, which is not a Sunday midnight, which is a little bit of a change, because I had students in the evaluations, the final course evaluations. A few of them mentioned that it was very difficult to finish the presentation and finish the chapter reflection and study for the final all in one weekend. And so I split it up a little bit so that it's not so hectic. So the chapter 14 post will be due that midnight Sunday, and then Wednesday midnight your presentation's due, and then you have till the 26th, which is Sunday midnight, to complete the final. So I tried to spread that out a little bit so it's not so crammed all in one due date for you. Okay, so a little bit more specificity on these 2 major assignments. Your personal growth presentation, and we'll talk more about this as the semester goes on because it's almost at the very end when you'll submit it. But basically this is a presentation of your journey through the course. So you will spend time sharing with me where you felt you were when you started the course, what you learned throughout the course, where you intend to go from here at the end of the course. And it will incorporate all elements of you, your beliefs and your values and your relationships and your life experiences and your view of the world and all of those things. So those all combine into this final portfolio, if you will. And when I taught this course in a classroom, people brought in a tangible portfolio to me. So people would do scrapbooks or CDs or whatever to show me their journey through this. Well, obviously, in an online course, that's not feasible. So I'm asking for a virtual scrapbook, if you will. And so it doesn't have to be in a scrapbook form, but some of the methods people have used are keynotes or PowerPoints. Many have done videos, uploaded videos for YouTube, or done that in conjunction with a PowerPoint. I've had Prezis, I've had a mixed book scrapbook. So really, you can be very creative. I want creativity. I want to be able to see the unique qualities that make you who you are. And so therefore, it is not a text assignment. It is not a word assignment. It is a very creative representation of who you are and your journey. And so I'm expecting pictures and quotes and clip art and color and graphics and just lots of ways to express who you are and what's important to you. So when you look here at this planning guide, you will see a couple of questions about how you can begin to plan. So what are your beliefs and values? What have you learned this far? What do you want to learn further? How will you apply these skills to your field, etc.? And so you will kind of use that as you're preparing throughout the semester. One note that I want to make is this is a very time-intensive project. So please, and there are always students who don't listen to me and they do this anyway, but I'm encouraging you, please prepare ahead of time, continue to add material into a file or into whatever mode you're going to give me the final presentation in. Just put, every time you have an insight, every time you learn something, every time something strikes you throughout the course, throw it into that storage part of your computer so that you have a lot of information instead of trying to go back and do it all at once at the end and try to remember, and it makes it much more difficult that way. So this is designed to be an ongoing throughout the course project, and you just continue to add to it and modify it and change it as the semester goes on. So please don't wait till the end. You will regret it, I promise you that. And so just please keep in mind, again, I want personality and creativity. And one of the things I want to quickly mention, the reason why I spend all of these pages at the end of the syllabus going through the specific requirements, and I've actually given you a rubric, you'll see in just a minute, this outline gives you 1 A through E, 2 A through D, with point values. I've tried to be very specific with what I'm looking for so you have a visual rubric for what needs to go into this. The students who have struggled most in this course do not follow the outlines and the rubrics that I give. In your weekly modules, you will see these are your deliverables for the week. These are the questions I need you to answer. On this final portfolio, you will see this outline and it will say, this is worth this much and this is what I'm expecting you to answer. So those who do not score well and do not earn high grades are the ones who try to interpret what I'm saying, or they don't even read the outline and they create something based on what they think I'm looking for. I've spent a lot of time and energy giving this to you so that it's very, very easy to know exactly what I want. So please don't try to go anywhere else other than what this outline says. So you'll see there's an introduction and philosophy section, a skills section, and a summary section, and then additional points at the bottom. And obviously, we'll talk more about this as the semester goes on. You can ask me questions as you're working on it, etc. So, but there is your rubric. So follow that to the T, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. Then finally, your communication essay is your other major assignment, also due toward the last third of the course, I would say, so that you've had time to build skills in the meantime. But this is something that this is one of my favorite things in the course, actually, because it gives you an opportunity to look back on a communication exchange and reflect on it and analyze it and process what happened and what was done well and what could have been done better, and how your skills at the time impeded the effective communication that you could have had and how you would have done it differently. And now I've learned this, and I think with a reflective appraisal, this would have been more effective or more helpful in that situation. So really an interesting assignment toward the end of the course to show how far you've come and what you've learned. And so again, here's your outline, points assigned to each part that I'm looking for. I do want to make a note. This is not something that is an opportunity for you to go into things that are not appropriate for a student communicating with a professor. So what an example of that would be is a bar fight, or you were drunk somewhere, or you were doing drugs somewhere, or you were arrested for this, or anything that you wouldn't feel comfortable sharing, to your potential boss or your future in-laws. Those are things that I'm not wanting to read in this. And I almost hesitate to say that, but I've just learned the hard way that students are very willing to share very inappropriate things. So please guard what you include. I'm looking for a meaningful exchange. So someone you never met in a bar that you had this communication exchange with and it was 5 minutes long, and that's not what I'm looking for. It's something that is something that you can learn from. It's something that was significant, that you wish would have been done differently, or you felt that you handled well and you want to explain why. But it needs to be a relationship that has some kind of meaning to you or significance to you, and it needs to have some thought. And don't just pick something that happened yesterday because it's due tomorrow. I really need you to think. It doesn't have to be current either. It could have been 10 years ago. If you can remember the details and share that, that's fine. Just please make it a meaningful, worthwhile experience so that I'm not frustrated reading it. And that is the end of the syllabus. If you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer them. There is a question forum in the discussion section, so you can always post questions there. You can also email me. It's actually probably more helpful if you will post it in the questions in the forum, because then when I reply, other students get the benefit of your question and my information in response. And so please feel free to check there first if you have questions, or post there if I can help you with anything. And I am very diligent about checking my email and the discussion boards at least once a day. So that being said, I'm not on the computer 24 hours a day. So if you email me at 11:50 p.m., I probably will not respond before the next afternoon. If you email me first thing in the morning, it may be later in the afternoon before I respond. So please understand that within a 24-hour period, you will hear back from me, but I'm not on my computer at every second. So I just need to set that expectation ahead of time, especially for those students who tend to post like right before the deadline, and then they have an issue and then they email me and they want me to address it right then. Well, I'm not up at midnight reading your posts. So please be aware that you need to have some patience waiting for me to get back to you. And then one final thought. When I recorded my videos, I was having some physical problems and I was on some medication. And so my body was very out of whack, and the medication was making me extremely exhausted and fatigued all the time. So in many of my lecture videos, you will see me trying to stifle yawns or actually yawning. And that is not to say that I am bored or that the information is not important or that it didn't matter to me. My body was just really struggling at that time with some physical things, and the medicine was really messing with my fatigue levels and my exhaustion. So I'm just wanting to disclose that ahead of time so that you're not surprised when I yawn in the middle of the lectures. So I am really excited about this course. I think it is going to be very worthwhile and exciting. And I am also looking forward to learning more about you and reading your posts and getting to know who you are and what your goals are and where you're going in your career, whether you're going to move on to graduate school or get a job. So I look forward to this. I think it's going to be great. And I will see you in Lecture 1. Bye.